I was thinking about something and on the subject of quote unquote spirituality within the Jehovah's Witness organization. And it is extremely easy to fool some of these people, you know. Now, you can't fool them all, but you can fool some of them, you know. You know, it's so easy. It's so easy to fool a rank and file Jehovah's Witness that's not, awakened to what Watchtower is doing behind closed doors, of course. Because it could be the most. I mean, you could be somebody that is evil to the core, or you could be a uh, rapist, child molester. You could be all of those things behind closed doors. But when you step foot into that kingdom hall, you can put on a smile. You can give articulate comments at the meetings. You can, put a million hours a month in field service. You could put, uh, you could give all of these articulate experiences on stage at the assembly halls and at the conventions and things like that. But behind closed doors, you're up here, raping kids, or if you're someone who is promiscuous, you're out here sleeping with other people's husbands or wives for that matter, or you're beating the shit out of your wife, or you're, you know what I'm saying. But in front of the elders and pioneers in the congregation, oh, you're just, he's so spiritual. Oh, she's so spiritual. I see her every weekend, or I see them every day out in field service. They have about 3 or 4 Bible studies. They're just doing really good, y'all. I'm sure Jehovah is blessing them. And you have no idea what they doing, behind y'all's backs. On the other hand, another family who's struggling to make the meetings, but they're not out here in secret doing all of this evil stuff. But you don't pay them any attention. Oh, she don't make it to the meetings much. Yeah, she don't go out to service that much. Ugh. She don't give comments, but all she do is maybe give a Bible scripture comment. You don't ever see her out in service. You don't ever see her, uh, this and that and the other. She's never given any experiences on stage, and looking all good in front of the entire circuit. I mean, seriously, is this what Jehovah's Witness base their spirituality off of? How you look to other people? They say they claim they don't, but in reality they do. And the more spiritual you are, the more attention you get, from the brothers and sisters in the congregation. If you are the type of person that's struggling to make the meetings, your kids aren't behaving, which I'm going to tell you something. When I was a kid, me and my brother were fidgety as well. I mean, come on. When you're a child, these meetings are the most boring meetings on earth. Seriously. What little child can sit through 2 hours of this indoctrination session without being fidgety or, making noise or giggling or whatever? I mean, seriously. These are children, and the thing about it is, there are a lot of churches out there that actually have, Sunday school, and they have little activities for the children. Some of them even have, playgrounds or whatever, little recreation centers for the children, because they know the psychology. They know how much energy, children have, you know, um, it's hard for them to sit down, but the kingdom halls don't have that kind of stuff. So kids are fidgety. And now these brothers and sisters is looking at you. Ooh, look at that sister with them bad kids. You know what I'm saying? But on the other hand, you got that other family, like I said. It could be the elder and his wife and his two perfect children. They go out of service every single Saturday. They give articulate comments, even the children. Some of these children give way better comments than some of these adults sometimes. Like, seriously, I'm like, wow, that's a very articulate comment. When I used to be indoctrinated, I'm like, wow, they're doing a really good job with their kids spiritually and this and that and the other. But you have no idea, what they could be doing behind closed doors. The father could be raping the children, and he could be saying, if you tell, I'll kill you, and they'll believe it, or the wife, and then the wife probably is just sitting there witnessing all and not doing anything because she's scared of the husband as well, or at the same time, there have been instances where elders and elders' wives, they swingers, wife swapping, Oh, but when we go to that Kingdom Hall, we sit down and look perfect. So, that's just something that I had a thought about, It's like, man, it's so easy to fool a rank and file witness that has no idea what's going on. But when you awaken to this kind of stuff, it's just, oh my goodness. All it is one big show. That's all it is. It's one big show. How many doors can you knock on? How many hours can you get? How many comments can you give? How many Bible studies do you have? If you don't have such and such X amount of hours and this, and that, and the other, you ain't worth shit in the congregation. Pretty much. They don't talk to you if you ain't spiritual enough. I've seen it happen. If you're struggling, especially if you are a baptized witness. Now, if you're unbaptized or if you're studying, they'll help you out. Like I said, they'll love bomb you. They'll do all that. But if you're baptized and struggling, they're like, what's wrong with her? She must not be reading her Bible enough. She need to go out and service more. She need to study her Bible more. And this and that and the other. It's so easy to fool a witness. All of these sisters that's, got the well-behaved children are probably beating the shit out of them at home. Like, if you make one peep or one comment, or one, noise, at the hall, I'm gonna get you when we get home. These are freaking children. It was terrible. Growing up, having to sit for 2 hours. And then, not to mention, when I was a child, there was congregation. No, not congregation. It was book study where we had, the book study at people's homes, and that lasted an hour. Do you know how tired I was as a child? Some of these meetings end, at 9:15, and the book study ends probably like 8:30 or so. You're tired, and you haven't finished your homework yet. You got to go back home and finish your homework. So it's rough. It's rough. And for what? For nothing. Because the governing body knows that they're not inspired or infallible. They know that no God, no kind of God, is backing up this organization at all. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, there is a God. There is a God backing up this organization. It's the 7 men. The 7 men in New York. They are God, But they'll tell you, Jehovah is in control. And hey, Jehovah's Witnesses believe it, And so they do all of this stuff. But my thing is, if you doing all of this crap behind JW's backs, and then you turn around and act all perfect when you get to Kingdom Hall. Don't you know? Like, if you believe Jehovah exists, he sees you. Personally, I don't believe that Jehovah exists. But they're just doing it to impress people. not some God in the sky. You know, they're doing it to impress people and impress the elders, and you know, hopefully get up to where, you know, the governing body notices them. You know, and they'll tell you good job, but that's about it. You know, they're not gonna give you no check or nothing. You know, you just continue to be a slave for the Watchtower. You know, as long as you their good little slave, as long as you're their good little slave, and as long as you don't speak against Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't care what you do. Just don't speak against Jehovah's Witnesses. You know, and keep slaving, keep knocking on them doors, keep trying to get members in. You know, that's all they care about. They don't care about you or your well-being. You know, it's so many witnesses that are struggling, you know, just to make ends meet. So many witnesses, that's hard to put food on their table, you know, because organizations really don't have any food banks or, you know, homeless shelters or anything like that. They think that's too worldly or too close to the world, and they telling you, well, the end is coming anyway. So all of these hungers and homeless people, all of that poverty will be the thing of the past, but you just gotta wait. It's right around the corner. Not too much longer now. You know, we won't have to be suffering like this. And hey, and you know, if you're a average blind rank and file Jehovah's Witness, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, well, we'll just leave it in Jehovah's hands and not do nothing. And see, that's what religion does. It keeps you stagnant, and it keeps you docile, and that's exactly how they want you to be, unless it's, you know, working for them. You know, I don't mean to talk about other religions, but like in comparison, like I'm not a religious person, but there are some churches out there that preach the same message, but at the same time they still take action. You know, they have food drives. I was listening to one church commercial on the radio, and they're going to be giving out free turkey dinners to people in need. You know, and I think that's like such a good thing. My child's school is asking for donations, you know, canned goods and things like that. And I'm gonna donate. You know, like I said, I'm not very, very active, but I'm still, you know, what you call P.I.M.O, physically in, mentally out. You know, I still go to the meetings with my husband from time to time, and with my children, but I don't force them. Like, if they don't want to go, or if they're tired, I leave them at home, you know, especially on a meeting night. I don't make every meeting. I don't. Like, if the kids are sick or something, I'm staying home. You know, I don't go out in service. And if I do go out in service, I make sure that I have my own separate literature, because what I like to do is I like to put apostate information inside the JW literature, you know. And if I'm like doing informal witnessing, or if I'm doing parking lot witnessing or something like that, you know, it's easier, you know, because if you're out in service and you're working with somebody, it's you won't be able to pass out that information and explain what's going on with the literature on the inside. You're gonna have to do that. I not you. Hopefully you ain't gotta go out of service a day in your life ever again. But being that I'm physically and mentally out, only reason I'm in is because of you know, my husband and my in-laws. That's it. No other reason. You know, he's still highly indoctrinated, and I've told him my stance and what I believe, but you know, he's continuing to do what he does, and you know, I do it for him because I love him, but also I look at this as an opportunity to unwitness as well. You know, and I've actually printed the jwsurvey.org, jwfacts.com, JW Victims. I've actually printed out those, typed in those websites and actually printed it on inside the literature, and also the QR code. You know, I mark out the jw.org one, and I print out a new one. You know, hopefully, this is probably the reason why they're like, okay, no more literature, because they peeping that you know, witnesses are doing this. You know, uh, well, witnesses who are woke. You know, woke witnesses. That's what I am. I'm a woke witness. Like, if my husband wants me to go out in service, uh, you know, that's what I do. I have my own separate literature. I don't pass it out to nobody. That's mine. You know, it's in my purse. I got my own magazines. You know, because those are the magazines that I altered, and I pass those out to people. When you're doing witnessing in business parking lots, it's so much easier to speak one on one with them. Um, you know, and I can say, hey, you know, I'd like to give you a piece of literature where Jehovah's Witnesses, but if you really want to know what Jehovah's Witnesses are about, not Jehovah's Witnesses, but Watchtower organization. I don't want to say Jehovah's Witnesses because it's not the Jehovah's Witnesses. It's the organization. So I would say, if you really, really, really want to know what the organization is all about, and if you really want to know the ins and outs and what they do behind closed doors, please look at this website. You know, jwfacts.com, jwsurvey.org, JW Victims. You know, and just take a look at it. You know, and give it to them and be on their way, and they'll be on their way, and that's what I do. I've done it since I want to say the summertime. Well, like the early spring time. That's when I started doing it, and I'm like, man, it just clicks. It just clicked, and I'm like, why don't I just throw some uh, unwitnessing literature inside the literature. It's so easy to do. It is so easy. Witnesses won't even know what you're doing. Like I said, it's so easy. It's so easy to fool a Jehovah's Witness. That's so sad. That's just so sad. But anyway, that's the end of my rant, and this is Mackie, and I hope you all have a good day.